Hi guys, my name is Kayla Gream and I am on staff at Shepherd Church. I help with the little kiddos in the children's ministry. Some of you may know me from volunteering or being a D group leader and helping out with camp stuff. But I'm so excited today to walk you guys through Colossians 3. So we've been through Colossians 1 and 2. Caleb kind of already walked you guys through that. And today I'm going to show you kind of what my Bible reading looks like. And we're going to read Colossians 3. So just to start you guys off with how I do everything in my Bible reading, I normally like to find a really quiet space. I go to the park a lot, and that's where I have some of the best Bible reading because I can focus and not get distracted by TV and Netflix and a million things. So I usually go to a park or sit on my balcony or something. And then before I get into my Bible reading, I like to pray. And I like to do this because I'm the type of person that I love to read books. I love to read a lot of books, but I'm not the quickest person to pull out my Bible and start reading that, unfortunately. So I'm trying to get better at it. And when I do, I tend to go to the Bible as a source of comfort, which isn't bad. But I've noticed in myself that I'll open the Bible and I'll only pay attention to when God speaks to things that I need help with in my life. I'll only go if I want him to speak to my insecurity or my jealousy or my struggles, whatever it is. And when I'm doing that, I'm not necessarily going to the Bible out of excitement and wanting closeness with God. It's kind of to help with me. And that's not bad, but that shouldn't be your reasoning every time. And I kind of have this analogy that I don't even know if some of you can relate to it. But, you know, when you were younger, and maybe you don't remember this, but back in the old days of Disney Channel, you watched an episode in the season of the show and you had to wait till the very next week to see the next episode, and it was this excitement of like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen next time I tune in on Friday. You know, we didn't binge a TV show all at once. It was episode by episode. So that's kind of how I want my Bible reading to be. So I pray, get my heart right, and just pray that God would reveal something about himself to me that can help me look more like him. So once I check my heart and kind of pray, I'll start reading. I'll read once all the way through, knowing that I'm going to be confused at some parts. And, you know, I didn't go to Bible college. I'm just teaching myself how to read the Bible. So I just read it once all the way through. And then the second thing I like to do is I like to watch the Bible Project videos. And this is kind of nerdy and weird, but they have Bible videos on every single book of the Bible. And it's so helpful. It helps you understand the context of why the book was written, what the purpose of it was. It really breaks it down and helps you understand the timeline of the Bible rather than just reading this section of words that you don't really know the context of. So that helps me a lot. I love those videos. And then I'll read it a second time through. And the second time I read through the book that I'm reading, I'll make sure to write a lot of notes. I have this notepad that I write all my notes on. And I also like writing in my Bible because when you go back and look, it's just cool to see, like, when you read the book a second time, like a year later or something, you know, what specific things stuck out to you, because the reason the Bible is so cool is that it works in so many different seasons and areas of your life, and I just love that. So I'll read it again and write down any questions I have, any comments like, oh, I loved that, I need to understand that more, or that was really confusing, I didn't really understand that. And so after I have written down all those questions, I'll start and I'll look at Google. And it's an amazing tool. It's fabulous. And so one of the things I wrote down that was kind of confusing for me was your life is now hidden in Christ. It talks about that in Colossians 3:2 or 3:3. It says, for you died and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. And this term has kind of always confused me. So I wrote that down and was wondering about that. And so I actually looked it up, and it said, it was talking about how we live in this tug of war world where we belong to Christ in heaven, but we also live in a sinful world and have to deal with everything on earth so we can kind of get caught up in that. And it was saying that we have to daily die to ourselves and put on our clothes of our heavenly nature. So it was saying that the context of this verse can actually be found in the verses around it. So in Colossians 3:3, it says, "For you died and your life is now hidden with Christ." But in the verse before that, it says that you can achieve this by setting your minds on things above, not on earthly things. And then after that verse, it says, "Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature, sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry." So the answer to this question was kind of in the surrounding verses, but you just have to look around. So it's basically saying that we have to just die to ourselves and put on the clothes of humbleness, gentleness, and patience, and all those things. So that kind of answered my question for that one. And then I went into some more questions and just started Googling some things and found some answers there. And after that, I'll do an application. So I'll ask myself questions of how I can apply these things to my life, because it's one thing to learn them, but how do I actually live them out? So the application that I put, the questions: what needs to be put to death in my life? What idols do I have that I need to put to death? And then what do I need to clothe myself with? So am I struggling with patience? Yes. Am I struggling with gentleness, kindness, compassion? So what do I need to clothe myself with? And after that, I'll do a time with God where I'll just pray about these things and ask God, okay, what are specific situations that I can put these things to work in? Like, do I need patience with my sister? Do I need to put to death some idols in my life? Maybe stop watching certain TV shows or stop listening to certain music. But that's kind of what I'll do, and I'll pray, and then try my best to live that out. So that's kind of my Bible reading. Sometimes I go longer and I'll ask myself more questions, and sometimes it's shorter, but that's kind of what I do. So I hope you guys found some sort of good advice, or this was helpful in some way. I know it can be confusing to read the Bible. I struggled for a really long time, but I think I found a routine that works. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'm here. But I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye!